Look, the ultimate rising sea level is when a hurricane hits. And actually, even before I was county commissioner, I was mayor of Boca Raton, Florida, and had to respond and recover from 3 hurricanes in 14 months. So the response, of course, included everything from ensuring that no one had been killed or injured from the hurricane, all the way up to clearing debris, making roads passable, and then even responding with our fire department to incidences of fires that occurred when, because the electricity was out, people's appliances turned on again, causing surges that sometimes caused fires. So all kinds of unanticipated consequences that occurred. And of course, we're seeing even now with very severe hurricanes forming in other parts of the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans that this is a problem that we have to be aware of and prepare for. Well, the support we need to deal with rising tides, coastal flooding, any kind of severe weather event is, of course, money, and that's the first thing that a local community will ask for. But I will tell you that even more important than financial support would be assistance in cutting through the bureaucratic red tape that often comes when state and federal government come into the area to assist. That would be the biggest support that, from my view, we could obtain from our partners. Well, I'm here because it's important to have a bipartisan group. Coastal flooding at the local level is a nonpartisan issue, but I'm also here to hear from those scientists that are talked about so much, the experts in the field who can give us their expert opinion as to what the future holds, and also to hear from my fellow elected officials. We all live in different areas of the country, and everyone has faced different and yet similar circumstances. And to come away with some of the best practices that they are using in their communities would be invaluable. Well, I think every community, whether you're a coastal community or not, has to deal with reducing the carbon footprint. And certainly we are in Palm Beach County taking what we call a no regrets strategy, which is where we implement common sense initiatives that are beneficial regardless of the progression of sea level rise. And often it saves money for our taxpayers, whether it be energy efficiency, better management of our water resources. We're turning trash into electricity. We are emphasizing our mass transit, which takes lanes of cars off of our interstate highways. We're even turning off the hot water so in our public buildings so that we can save energy, reduce our reliance on foreign fuels, and really do our share and our part to reduce the carbon footprint in South Florida. Well, we're used to hurricanes in South Florida, so but I will tell you that one of the issues we have is complacency. So, for example, these 3 hurricanes that I mentioned, the last one occurred 10 years ago. We haven't had a hurricane since. We've had a lot of severe storms. We've had intense flooding. But what happens is that people get complacent, don't do the preparations that we ask them to. And also, the people in the inland areas sometimes think that it's just a phenomenon that is confined to the coastline. And yet, our last major storm was Tropical Storm Isaac, completely flooded out our rural areas in the middle of the county. And so it's an education process. Well, I think conferences like this help people raise their awareness. We're going to go back into our communities loaded with information and practices that from other areas of the country, and just continuing to increase people's consciousness. This is called the Rising Tides Conference. I'll try to turn that into Rising Voices on this critical issue that we're facing. When you live in South Florida, you become aware of it, and that's why it is a nonpartisan issue in our area, because we're on the front lines. South Florida is actually now experiencing coastal flooding, inland flooding, and having to deal with these consequences. They're called 100-year storms, And by that measure, I should be about 400 or 500 years old by now, because this is what we've experienced in South Florida. No, in fact, it's often not the hurricane, because people become acutely aware of a hurricane, and even though we'd like them to do the preparation sooner, batten down the hatches. It's and that's a problem with, in my opinion, with this whole topic,